Alright, so January 6, 2016. Today is rest day. My first real rest day because I am terrible at resting. I have anxiety and I have you could almost call it a manic personality. So I'm always trying to just keep myself busy, keep myself doing things. So a lot of the times I find myself being like, I'll just go to the gym. And it's just wearing me down. So it's kind of nice. That was kind of the purposes of having a coach like Bridget. Remember, follow her at Muscle for the Journey on Instagram. It's kind of nice having a coach like Bridget just because I almost need an adult. You know, like, you ever hear the saying, I need an adult? Yeah, I need an adult because I'm like a child. I don't know how to watch myself. So that was kind of the purposes of getting the coach in the first place, is just keeping me on check with training, keeping me on check with resting and my diet and everything else, because eating isn't really an issue for me. I eat and eat and eat and eat. And I'm typically the kind of kid that eats really healthy. Fun news nugget. As a kid, instead of eating potato chips and things like that, I would ask for like spinach and carrots and broccoli and just like shit like that. Like, I was that one weird kid that was like, I want to eat spinach instead of chips, because I have no idea. It's just the way I was. So with it being rest day, I don't really have a lot. I'll share one conversation I had today as far as it goes into powerlifting. One of the other members of the team was upset because they had missed their bench, or they overloaded and then went back down, and then still missed that bench, and they've got a meet coming up fairly soon. And we kind of talked just real briefly, but I explained I don't know a whole lot about powerlifting, but I know a lot about competing, and I know a lot about, I guess you could say, perseverance. I've coached Little League soccer. I've been in a lot of sports when I was younger, and just throughout everything, as far as like training for the Marine Corps and training for the Ninja Warrior and like the stupid mud runs and just all that other crap, is practice and training is the time for you to fail. It's perfectly fine if you fail at that point, because that's your chance to get it wrong so you can learn and get it right. I would be perfectly fine, I wouldn't be the happiest, but I'd be perfectly fine missing every single lift leading up to the last week of prep. As long as, that last week I get everything dialed in, I take all of those mistakes and I learn from them, and I move up from there. It's going to sound super stupid and cliche, but I saw this thing the other day, and it's actually written on my mirror in dry erase marker right now, that a fail is not a fail is the first attempt at learning. And I really like that, just because, each time that I've messed something up, or whether it has to do with work, parenting, training, freaking everything, I've always learned something from it. And I guess that's always going to be the difference between someone who's going to get better and someone that's going to stay the same, is if you fail and you get down and you beat yourself up and you don't learn anything from it, then I don't know what you're doing there in the first place. Because nobody's going to get everything right the first time around. That's just, statistically, is just stupid to think about it that way. So, take your failures and take your lessons and learn from them and get better from there. Other than that, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to exfoliate my skin, because I have super dry skin. # white people problems. Thank you, Dad. And then I'm probably going to lay down on the couch and watch about 4 hours of House and then fall asleep. So, that's the end of the video. I still have not figured out how I'm supposed to end these. I've tried cussing a little bit less, just to be a little bit less on the vulgar side. But shut the fuck up and train. Josh Beauregard. Just going to say that every time.